Howdy again everyone. Canon have recently made me super happy by releasing the super cool RF 24mm f1.8 IS STM macro lens, and although it's not a perfect lens, it's so much fun that I'm seriously considering buying one myself at some point. Alongside its older 35mm brother, they are probably the two most affordable and versatile full-frame lenses available for Canon's RF mount mirrorless cameras. With a bright aperture, image stabilization, semi-macro ability, small size, lightweight, and good image quality, both lenses are kind of no-brainers, and so the only question you really should be asking is, which one should I get? Well, although they may share the same lens body, virtually the same autofocus and image stabilization mechanisms and build quality, well, there are still a number of differences between the two, so I'll try to help you unpack those so you can make a choice that works for you. First off, just to clear up one obvious question but not everyone will know, both of these lenses are only for Canon's EOS R mirrorless cameras. Neither of them will work on their older digital SLR cameras. Both lenses will work on full frame or aps-c cameras. I'll be making this review from a full frame perspective. Both lenses have a similar price, $500 for the older 35mm option and $600 for the brand new 24mm version, so quite reasonable. The number one standout, utterly obvious to even a moron difference, comes in the focal length. The 24mm focal length is dramatically wide. Just look at the difference here, and that's particularly useful for architecture, indoors, and landscape photography. However, the 35mm lens will give you much better emphasis on your subject, making it quite a bit more versatile, especially if you want to get more out-of-focus backgrounds or shoot people with it. Here you can see that this image of me at 24mm shows quite some unattractive distortion in my facial features. My nose and cheekbones look even more unnaturally big than they normally do, and my ears have all but vanished. The more you take it in, the more horrifying it looks. The 35mm view on the right gives a much more natural perspective, not to mention more subject isolation and out-of-focus backgrounds. So, if you want to regularly take pictures of people, then the 35mm lens will be way preferable. That's the difference in focal length. What are the differences in image quality though? The honest answer is surprisingly few. Both lenses are decently sharp at f1.8 in the middle of their images, although I think the 24mm lens is just a whisker better here. They both get softer when you look into the image corners. However, I think the 24mm lens is just a touch softer here now, and a little darker too. At f2.8, the 35mm lens is still just a little sharper in the corners, but interestingly, back in the middle, the 24mm option looks a little sharper. It's basically the same story now throughout the entire aperture range from here. The 24mm lens is always a touch sharper in the middle, and the 35 a little better in the corners. So, quite similar image quality here at normal distances. Both of these lenses can get you fantastically close to your subject. Both have slightly softer close-up image quality at f1.8, but quickly sharpen up at f2.8 or f4, as you can see, for good macro performance, a very useful feature. To my eyes, the 24mm lens is definitely just a little sharper close-up, though. Both lenses perform well against bright light, maintaining good contrast when flaring comes along. However, the 24mm lens shows worse chroma smearing at f1.8 in points of bright light in the corners of your images. Both lenses show lovely soft quality bokeh, well, to my eyes anyway. Both lenses show similar levels of longitudinal chromatic aberration also. Overall, well, in many ways, I feel a bit like someone put a Canon RF 35mm lens into the food replicator on the Starship Enterprise, pressed the 24mm button, and out the newer lens came. It's almost identical in terms of build quality and features. Its image quality is very similar too, except for one area, corner sharpness, where the new 24mm lens lags behind a bit, and that's a real shame because its much wider angle means that corner details will be more important to you. But honestly, the quality of both lenses is so similar that you can quite safely just make your choice based on your preferred focal length. Seriously, You want glorious wide-angle images for architecture or landscape work? The 24 will be your bag. You want to get a bit closer to your subject, shoot some people and get nicely out of focus backgrounds, or maybe save $100? Well, the older 35mm lens is definitely for you. I'd say it's a bit more versatile in general and will be the more common choice, but there's also no arguing with the touch of drama that a 24mm wide-angle image can get you. Anyway, that's it. I hope you found that all helpful. I can't just tell you which lens is right for you, but I can certainly give you the information you need to make the right decision for yourself. Have fun making up your mind, and in the meantime, check out my Patreon page if you'd like some exclusive bonus content, or if you'd just like to support the channel. It's there that you can kill both birds with one stone. Take care everyone, and God bless.